Who's the assistant coach?
It's Shane Prunty.
Gotcha.
And then it's Derek Shufflebine and Spencer O'Brien. Yeah, I didn't. I had to ask one of the kids the first game of the season.
Hey, how you doing? Doing good? Good.
Jefferdale.
Are you living now?
Yeah. Since you're doing this, I thought one run the scoreboard would be something to do. I like to be involved somehow.
Sure, absolutely. Kind of looks like magic from here.
Huh?
Kind of looks like magic from here. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Hyde Stadium, home of the Pierre Governors. At this time, we'd like to welcome the Mitchell Colonels to Pierre and to announce their Mitchell Colonels starters. Batting first at left field, number 24, Carter McCormick. In right field, number 4, Gavin Jones. The center fielder, number 23, Hudson Morgan. The DH, number 7, Jackson Hartman. And at third base, number 16, Mason Herman. The first baseman, number 10, Parker Mandel. And at shortstop, number 5, Jacob Ebert. Behind the plate catching, number 20, Baylor Christensen. At second base, number 8, Landon Solik. And on the mound pitching for the Colonels, number 2, Tyler Christensen.
Hey, good afternoon.
The Mitchell Colonels are coached
As we welcome you here to Hyde Stadium, a beautiful Monday afternoon. John Wickler here with you as we get set for our contest, a doubleheader between the Pierre Governors and the Mitchell Colonels, as we'll have starting lineups coming up here in just a little bit. It is a great day for baseball, as we'll have great temperatures, much better than what we had on Thursday when the Governors won 3-2 against Aberdeen in 10 innings. But we'll have a doubleheader on time for you with Ridge Lineback on the mound to get us started. We'll step aside when we come back. We've got starting lineups and first pitch between the Pierre Governors and the Mitchell Colonels. You're listening to Pierre Governor Baseball on KCCR, and you're watching it on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
J. Buckles. And in right field, number 5, Will Danberg. And at third base, number 24, Parker O'Brien. The assistant coach.
Well, I forgot that I had to mute this. I'm doing all of this myself right now for the first hour.
Scott Rowie. And at this time, please rise and remove cover for our national anthem. It's an interesting anthem. I haven't heard this one before.
Oh, say, can you?
16. When you're looking for quality trash pickup services, look no further than Envirotech. 6 days a week, their trucks are on the road picking up trash, even holidays. They're also the place to contact for recycling services. Their friendly, professional staff is ready to assist with weekly pickups or even special pickups. Check out the website at envirotechwaste.com. Envirotech is locally operated. Call 224-4804. Envirotech Waste Services in Pierre, proud to support high school athletics.
When life throws you a curveball, May Adam Law Firm in Pierre is here to help you knock it out of the park. For over 130 years, we've been providing trusted legal expertise in business, family law, criminal defense, and more. Proud sponsors of this season's baseball action, we're committed to serving our community both on and off the field. Need legal advice? Step up to the plate with May Adam Law Firm. Visit mayadam.net or call today. May Adam, South Dakota's law firm since 1881.
With any dream, the wind won't always be at your back, the sun won't always be shining, and some rain is going to fall. American Family Insurance is like a good solid roof that you can trust to protect your biggest dreams. With plans that could save you up to 23% when you bundle your home and auto. Also, you can continue to dream fearlessly, no matter what comes your way. American Family Insurance.
Visit mfm.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company assigned its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Contact the Brittany Shufflebind Agency, LLC, 224-6627.
Looking for your next new or used car, truck, or SUV? Then go no further than the comfort of your own home. Shop online at lambmotor.com. On lambmotor.com, you'll find the vehicles Lambs has in stock. You can schedule a test drive or your vehicle's next tune-up all online. New or used, shop for it all online, anywhere you are. Lamb Motor has the right vehicle for you. Lamb Motor in Oneida and online, lambmotor.com.
As we welcome you back and we get set for first pitch between the Pierre Governors and the Mitchell Colonels. John Wickler with you on this Monday afternoon, and glad you're with us here on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. I think we got everything figured out and ready to go, as it is the Mitchell Colonels that will come to the plate first. Ridge Leinbach is on the mound. We'll give you his stats here in just a moment. But the starting lineup for the Mitchell Colonels: Carter McCormick will lead things off. He is a left fielder. Gavin Jones will bat second. He is the right fielder. Hudson Borgen, the center fielder, batting third. Jackson Hartman, the DH, batting fourth. Mason Herman, the third baseman, will bat fifth. Parker Mandel, the first baseman, batting sixth. Jacob Ebert, the shortstop, batting seventh. Baylor Christensen, the catcher, batting eighth. And Landon Solik, the second baseman, batting ninth. With Tyler Christensen, the pitcher, not in the batting order, but he will be on the mound for the Colonels. Ridge Leinbach, as he comes in so far on the season, he has been excellent on the mound, as he is 2 starts, 1-0 so far, 9 innings pitched, 1 hit, 6 runs, 5 earned runs, 13 walks, 15 strikeouts, an ERA at 3.89 and a whip at 1.56. But if you take away his first inning against the Stevens Raiders, where he ended up having 5 walks in the inning and hit batter, you take away 5 of those walks and 3 of those runs, that ERA and whip goes way, way down really quick. So this Governor lineup with Ridge Leinbach, the pitcher, looking for a big Game 1 win against the Mitchell Colonels. We're joined here in the broadcast booth with Steve Steele, the head coach of the Pierre Governor football team. And, Coach, beautiful day for some baseball, right?
It is. It is a lot better than last week. I know I didn't envy everyone being out there in the cold and all that. You just get that sting hand feeling for any of the hits, but should be a beautiful day today.
And I say we don't have to worry about the second game not being played at all. I think we're in good shape starting at 1 o'clock. We're actually going to start about 5 minutes early. We're in pretty good shape of having some good weather to take us through a doubleheader between Pierre and Mitchell, as Carter McCormick, the left fielder, will step to the plate. The lefty will dig in, and we are underway here on this Monday afternoon, as the first pitch will be at the top of the zone for a strike. At 12:55, we get rolling, and it's good to have you on this Monday, making a Monday a little bit better, although maybe some are still off of work anyway. 0-1 pitch, that'll be high and outside. The count's now 1-1, or they're just taking time from their own job to be here when they should be working. Someone that's sitting next to me and to my right.
Multitasking.
1-1 pitch will be behind McCormick, but actually will hit him. And it is a leadoff hit by pitch by Leinbach. And it brings up Gavin Jones. Gavin Jones, the right fielder, as he steps to the plate, 167 batting average, a 251 team average for Mitchell so far. And for Jones, he does have a double, 3 runs driven in, another lefty to dig in to start here for Mitchell. You don't see that very often. Have a couple left-handed hitters in a row. Looking for it to bunt it was Jones. He pulls it back and takes it low for ball 1. You're a lefty when you came to the plate, Coach, back in the day.
Yeah, I was.
Hit bombs all over the place.
I don't know about that.
You're
Contact, though. We were
okay.
good contact hitter.
There's a swing and a miss. The runner takes off. The throw to second. The tag will be applied. They got him out by a long shot. The tag applied by Carter Shufflebine as Charlie Simpson guns down another man. And the leadoff hit by a pitch will go by the wayside on a caught stealing as it counts 1-1 here to Gavin Jones. A solid throw there from Simpson. And there was not a whole lot that Carter Shufflebine had to do. That pitch is taken high, and the count's now 2-1. That was a sit there and wait for the runner to get to you. That doesn't happen very often. There's a swing and a miss, and the count's now 2-2. And since, again, we have Coach Steele in the booth with us talking a little bit of football on top of it, that this baseball team is a young group, but there's a lot of really good athletes that are going to be on the football field. Some already were on the football field a lot. Some will be added on to their role and getting on the football field this year. 3-2, that'll be strike 3. It will go over to O'Brien. And I don't know if they need to throw the ball to first base or not. Or did it hit him? It might have hit him in the...
I kind of think he caught him leaning over the plate.
Yeah, it was a strike. He was leaning into the strike zone. So that will be the second out. And they're 2 down. See something new every time we come to the baseball park. Not so sure I've seen that live and in person of getting called a strike on a strikeout. That one will be at the bottom of the zone for a strike to number 3 man, Hudson Morgan. I think I've maybe seen a strike get called when it hits the guy, but never been strike 3 to end of that bat. That one's over for a strike. The count's now 0-2.
So both batters have been hit. Both batters are out.
One didn't get, yeah, that's true. One didn't get to first base, but both are out. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That one will come high and upstairs to Hudson Morgan, the center fielder. It's kind of hard to say that you might have retired the side in order without, and then having 2 guys be hit by a pitch. That one will be fouled back. I'm not really sure how. Yeah, that's an interesting one.
I mean, in the book, I guess it's just a strikeout.
It's just a strikeout,
but we know the truth.
Yeah, you put a little connotation that he was hit by the pitch on the strikeout. Linebacker still looking for that clean first inning. Here's the 0-2 pitch. It'll be upstairs, and count is now 2 balls and 2 strikes to Hudson Morgan. Two from Lineback. Check swing, then a roll back in front of the mound. The pickup by Lineback, the throw to first, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, 2 hit batters, and no one left on base. Not sure I've ever said that one before, but it is nothing between Pierre and Mitchell as the Governors will come to the plate. You're listening to Pierre Governor Baseball on KCCR, and you're watching it on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
No one likes to have electrical problems, but when they happen, call Todd's Electric at 223-2518. With over 28 years of experience, Todd's Electric can handle any type of electrical problem, whether it's residential, commercial, or agricultural. Their knowledgeable staff knows and understands the importance of your home, business, or ag facility and are prepared to help. Call Todd's Electric at 223-2518. That's 223-2518. Todd's Electric, serving the Pierre and Fort Pierre areas. The line to power.
Financial investments are very important, but so are the investments of time, patience, and encouragement our young athletes receive from their coaches, teachers, and mentors. Your Pierre area Edward Jones Financial Advisors understand this. That's why Edward Jones is a proud sponsor of Governor Athletics on KCCR. Go Govs! For all your investment needs, call or stop by one of our offices to visit with your Pierre area Edward Jones Financial Advisor. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
KCCR 1240 AM, 98.9 FM, K255DE Pierre, a Riverfront broadcasting station.
And we welcome you back as the Pierre Governors and the Mitchell Colonels get sent for the bottom of the first. Governor lineup looks like this. Carter Shufflebine will lead things off. He's the second baseman. Sunshine, the left fielder, batting second. Charlie Simpson, the catcher, batting third. Dawson Getz, the shortstop, will bat fourth. Ridge Linebach, the pitcher, batting fifth. Trevor Rouse, the center fielder, batting sixth. J.J. Buchholz, the first baseman, batting seventh. Will Danberg, the right fielder, batting eighth. And Parker O'Brien will round out the order as he is the third baseman. Here's the first pitch to Carter Shufflebine. That'll be at the top of the zone for a strike from Tyler Christensen. And Christensen so far on the season, this will be his third start. 8 innings pitched so far. He's 1-0, 6 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned, 6 walks, 8 strikeouts. As there's a swing and a miss by Shufflebine that counts 0-2. His ERA is 1.75 and the whip at 1.5. On paper, just about the number one guy. Herman's maybe the number one guy. This guy for Christensen at number 2, or maybe 1A and 1B, as that'll be outside for a ball in the counts 1-2. So far, at least in the early season for this Mitchell Colonel team. Time will be called. Shufflebine, he is coming in hitting .308. Does have a double, 2 runs driven in, 8 for 26 so far on the season. Governors raised their batting average by nearly 30 points on the 3-2 10-inning win on Thursday against Aberdeen. That one misses high, and the count's 2-2 here to Shufflebine. The guy that had a big role for the Pierre Governors during the basketball season too, but the football season, obviously, with Coach Steele joining us, and just increasing that role as he enters his junior year.
Yeah, it's always so much fun to see these kids progress throughout the season, or throughout the school year, actually, you know, with Carter being in football and then basketball and into baseball, and just seeing how their body develops. And looks like off the bat there for a foul.
It definitely got a piece of the bat. Yeah, that would have been interesting. Well,
Good thing it didn't hit him. It might have been a strikeout, huh?
We've already seen one that way. Here's a 2-2 again. That'll be outside, and the count's 3-2. You can finish that thought, though.
Yeah, no, it's really neat to see how they progress physically, especially with a lot of those sophomores. You know, they grow up so much over the course of that year, and their bodies look dramatically different from football season to now.
Check swing, and he did not hold up. It says home plate umpire, and Shufflebine goes down swinging. And there's one down here in the bottom of the first, and it will bring up Sutton Sunshine, the left fielder. Sunshine so far is .444 batting average. Triple, home run, 4 runs driven in. Inside the park grand slam for Sunshine. Here's the first pitch to him. That'll miss outside for ball 1. Another guy that's increased his role as the year went on for this Governor football team.
Yeah, and, you know, he's another one that, he probably played physically when he was just little. He was really little, and you've really seen him thicken up and start to grow.
This one will be flown out towards left center field. It will hang up for the center fielder in Borgen to make the catch, and there's 2 down here in the bottom of the first.
But another one of those kids that you see him all year round playing sports all through the season or all through the school year. And it's just, again, it's really fun to see. It doesn't seem like it's a long time, but just from the fall to now, some of these kids look very, very different.
Charlie Simpson will dig in as Christensen retires the first 2 in order. Top of the zone for strike 1 to Simpson. As he's hitting .208 so far, does have a double, 2 triples, 2 runs driven in, had his first 2 singles on Thursday. This will be a slow roller. The first baseman, he will underhand flip to the pitcher covering, and a good play from Parker Mandel to Christensen, and retires the side in order. 3-1 on the putout, and that will take us to the end of the first inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on base. 1 complete here at Hyde Stadium. No score between Pierre and Mitchell. Back in a minute here on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. Stolken Peterson LLP has been your local CPA firm for over 40 years, offering tax preparation, bookkeeping, payroll, and consulting services. If your business, farm, or ranch needs professional, accurate, and reliable services, we are your firm. Our clients are our #1 priority. If you need a higher level of accounting service, give us a call at 605-224-5828. That's Stolken Peterson LLP, 222 East Missouri Avenue in Pierre.
Swing for the fences with a great deal from Capital City Ford Lincoln Toyota in Pierre. Whether you need a powerful truck, a fuel-efficient sedan, or a spacious SUV, they've got the perfect lineup to keep you on the road and in the game. Don't strike out. Stop by today or visit CapitalCityFordToyota.com. Capital City Ford Lincoln Toyota, where the best deals in town are always in play.
As we welcome you back, it is the top of the second. No score on the American Family Insurance Printing Shufflebine scoreboard. And it is 4, 5, and 6 for the Mitchell Colonels. Jackson Hartman, Mason Herman, and Parker Mandel. Anybody reaches base, Jacob Ebert, or reaches base and doesn't get thrown out trying to steal like they did in the first inning with Carter McCormick. Around the horn defensively for the Pierre Governors, Sutton Sunshine is out in left, Trevor Rounds in center, and Will Danberg is out in right. Parker O'Brien at third, Dawson Getz at short, Carter Shufflebine at second, J.J. Buckles at first. And behind the plate is Charlie Simpson with Rich Leinbach on the mound. And a good first inning from Leinbach after he settled in with the first man being hit by a pitch. That will be taken for a strike as we're underway here at the top of the second. Jackson Hartman, the DH, 296 batting average so far. Double, 2 triples, and a home run. 8 runs driven in as it counts 1-1. 2 home runs so far for this Mitchell team. Connor Mackey, who's on the bench, has the other home run. This will be popped up on the right side, right to J.J. Buckles. He'll take a couple back steps, and he'll make the catch. And the first man is retired. Here to open up the top of the second, Mason Herman will come to the plate. Again, Coach Steele joining us here for a while. Maybe we'll get a full game in, depending on how this game moves along. But chance to talk some football, but to talk about this Pierre Governor group. And like you mentioned, too, it's a lot of fun to see here in Pierre all these guys playing multiple sports and excelling at multiple sports, which, you hope that, one, the football field translates into the wrestling mat, basketball court, but baseball field here in the spring and on the track as well. But, specifically right now, the baseball field, and how much fun that is as coaches to kind of watch and be just cheering on these guys and sitting back and having a different role as a fan, as this is now 1 and 2, but a different role as a fan instead of as a coach.
Yeah, honestly, I'd say most coaches would say it's probably pretty hard to sit back and be a fan, honestly. So weird to say that I'm more comfortable sitting up here next to you. It sounds weird to say that, but probably more so than in a lot of ways. It's hard to watch a game and not get invested and want to help make a difference in some way, some shape, some form. So, but yeah, it's so much fun to see these kids and just see how their dynamic is a little bit different from sport to sport too.
Mason Herman took strike 3, another strikeout for Leinbach, his second so far. This one a little bit cleaner of Simpson making the catch and not going off of the batter as the first pitch misses for ball 1 to Parker Mandel. Then Mandel will look at that one as that one went low and away on a curveball, and the count's now 2-0. Parker Mandel so far, as he comes in hitting 176, taking that one for a strike. Counts now 2-1. Does have a double, 6 runs driven in. They've scored 75 times as Mitchell through 10 games. There's a swing and a miss, and the count's now 2-2. So they can fill up the score sheet. Again, averaging over right at 7.5 runs a game. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That one will be taken for strike 3. Froze Mandel, and back-to-back strikeouts to retire the sign for Ridge Leinbach. Inning and a half gone by here at Hyatt Stadium. It is 0-0 between Pierre and Mitchell. Back after this here on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Building a home. It's the biggest investment most of us make in a lifetime. Not it's a decision that, well, you pretty much live with day and night. The quality of the workmanship stares back at you like a reflection. It also affects the value of your investment. Choosing the right contractor is critical. Kruger Contracting is that contractor. Call 222-2523. Quality workmanship and materials completed on time. Kruger Contracting. In a word, quality. Call 222-2523.
Becky Pottsaba and State Farm Insurance are here to help you with your insurance and banking needs. State Farm's not just insurance. It's banking, investments, IRAs, loans, and a whole lot more. We offer guidance in a personal and caring way that helps you manage the risks of everyday life, recover from the unexpected, and find ways to control costs so you can realize your dreams. We know how life is, and we're here for you. Stop in to see Becky at 1315 East Wells Avenue in Pierre, or call Becky at 224-4173.
As we welcome you back, it is a 0-0 tie in the American Family Insurance Brittany Shuffleby and scoreboard. John Wickler alongside Coach Steve Steele as we head to the bottom of the second inning. And it will be 4, 5, and 6 for the Governors. Dawson Guest, Ridge Leinbach, and Trevor Rounds. He might reach his base. It will then go to J.J. Buckles. Real quick, too, actually, not even real quick. We've got a chance to kind of discuss this, but Thursday is going to be a fun day for Pierre, for the Pierre Governor football program, for the community of Pierre, for one man in particular and a family in particular. But Gray Zabel is, did you ever think, coaching him in high school, not that he could get to the NFL, because I'm sure he probably had that thought that he could be very, very good. Did you ever think that he could be a number one or a first-round draft pick?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's absolutely crazy to think about. I mean, I think if you asked Gray himself, Gray would probably be like, man, I just like playing football. I was just excited to keep going. But, I mean, he is one of those kids that he had a true love for the game even back in high school. I remember him coming in and, drawing up plays on open periods, and there's a couple times where he'd come in during his lunch and draw some stuff up, and you saw us use those in games. So it definitely doesn't surprise me that he's able to get where he has gotten so far.
Dawson Guest will shoot this out towards right field, and coming in will be Gavin Jones to make the catch. 1 pitch and 1 out to open up the bottom of the second, and it brings up the pitcher in Ridge Leinbach.
But, I think more than anything, the coolest thing about Gray is, I mean, if everyone's being honest, no one expected it because it's never happened before. Pierre's never had a draft pick, more or less the first-round draft pick. So, he gets to be the first, and that's going to be a really cool moment for everybody, whether it is Thursday or Friday.
First pitch is on the outside edge for strike one to Ridge Leinbach. I think that's also some of the coolest things that you see, the videos and NFL Network and everybody talking about Gray Zabel and saying all these things, and we know that guy.
Yeah.
And the stuff they're saying, like, well, yeah, we've known that since he was 15, 16 years old, and you're just now seeing this like 6 years later. And it's so cool to see that on a national stage, everything that we knew as Pierre Governor fans or coaches for you and the coaching staff, as Leinbach will swing and miss and strike out, and there's now 2 down here in the bottom of the second. But that's also kind of got to be a little odd, too, to hear some of that stuff, because you got to chuckle and you're like, yeah, we already knew that. We know all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there was the one on First Take, I think it was a couple weeks ago, where they're like, did you guys know that Gray Zabel was an amazing left-handed pitcher? And there's highlights of him playing post-state and stuff right here at Hyde Stadium. And, I mean, it's crazy to see those, I mean, just these small town things show up on ESPN, and then people are talking about it in front of millions of people in an audience. So really, really cool just to see that. And again, I think it's amazing for this community just to fully embrace that.
Trevor Rounds has got a 2-0 count, 2 outs, nobody on here in the bottom of the second. No score between Pierre and Mitchell. The 2-0 pitch, it'll bounce in. The count's now 3-0. And I mean, he's sat where you're sitting and done several innings with me when younger brother Jet was playing for the Pierre Governors post-state baseball, and I never thought I'd be sharing a game or him doing a little bit of color commentary on and hey, he's going to be a first-round draft pick in just a couple years.
Yeah, it's wild to think about, but it's just one of the things where it just couldn't happen to a better person because he's the same kid that he was. He might look quite a bit bigger, be quite a bit stronger, and probably quite a bit well off here in a few days. But at the same point in time, he's still the same Gray, still fun-loving, happy-go-lucky guy, can talk to anybody. So it's so cool to see that come full circle.
Trevor Rouse draws the walk. He is the first base runner for the Governors. 1 on and 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. And J.J. Buckles, the first baseman, will dig in here for Pierre. Pickoff attempt, and that ball will get away from the first baseman Mandel, and to second base will go Rounds. So an error will be charged to Tyler Christensen as Mandel couldn't make that catch. And it's an E1. And it's now a runner on at second here with 2 away and a base hit could give the Govs their first hit, could give the Govs the lead here in the bottom of the second inning. Parker Mandel he's got a lot of length to him. He's a lanky first baseman, so it's never going to look good if you overthrow him or throw it wide of Mandel. That one will be high and outside. The count's now 1-0. But Gray Zabel is that guy over at first base for the Governors and for Post 8 for so many years. And on the mound, again, thankfully I never had to worry about trying to go get a base hit against Gray Zabel on the mound. But when those guys look back and say, yeah, that was a first-round NFL draft pick or high second-round NFL draft pick at worst, that's pretty insane to be thinking about, and got to be pretty intimidating seeing even him as a senior in high school, a junior in high school. Got to be pretty intimidating seeing him stand on top of that mound.
Yeah, I mean, he was not a small person back then. He might not be quite the mountain he is now, but he was not small back then.
1-2 pitch. That is upstairs to J.J. Buckles, and the count's now 2-2. Buckles is hitting 125, still looking for that first RBI, 2 for 16 so far, but this is a perfect time to drive in that first run of the season for Buckles. That'll be fouled back. It'll get out of play off the chain link fence, and the count remains at 2-2. Here in the first game of our doubleheader between the Pierre Governors and the Mitchell Colonels. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss by Buckles. That will retire the side here in the bottom of the second. No runs, no hits, 1 error, and 1 man left on base. We have played 2 here at Hyde Stadium. No score between the Pierre Governors and the Mitchell Colonels. You're listening to Pierre Governor Baseball on KCCR, and you're watching it on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Is it the competition that keeps bringing you back? The long-standing rivalries? Or is it seeing friends again and cheering on your favorite team? At First Dakota, we're here for it all. We appreciate the fans, the players, the coaches and officials, the concessions crew. The shared community experience is part of what makes life here great, and we're here for it. See you at the game. First Dakota National Bank, member FDIC.
For over 60 years, Ferding Electric has been powering homes and businesses across central South Dakota. When you need reliable electrical service, trust the experts with decades of experience. Whether it's a simple residential repair, a complex commercial installation, or even electrical work on your farm, Ferding Electric has you covered. And if you're tired of searching everywhere for that hard-to-find bulb, Ferding Electric carries a wide selection of bulbs, including those hard-to-find fluorescent and specialty options. Visit us at 2903 East Elizabeth Street or call today, 605-224-8684.
As we welcome you back, we are in the top of the third between the Pierre Governors and the Mitchell Colonels. John Wickler alongside Steve Steele as it'll be 7, 8, 9. Jacob Eberts, Baylor Christensen, and Landon Solik. Anybody reaches base back to the top of the order. And Carter McCormick, so far, it has been the minimum face for Ridge Lineback as a bunt attempt that is missed by Jacob Ebert is then strike 1 to the shortstop. As he comes in hitting .308 so far, just 4 of 13. 2 runs driven in. There's the 0-1. That's right down the middle of the fastball. And the count's out 0-2. Good velocity so far from Ridge Lineback on the mound for the Governors. He has looked sharp after he hit the first guy and end up with a hit batter strikeout. The second guy, there's a swing and a miss by Ebert, and that's 3 straight strikeouts now for Lineback, 4 today, and there's 1 down here at the top of the third, and it brings up Baylor Christensen, the catcher. We talked about this was coming up Thursday in the NFL draft for Gray Zabel. We go back a couple Saturdays ago, Lincoln Kenols with Ohio State in the spring game. That first pitch is over for strike 1 to Christensen. What was your takeaway from what Kenols was able to do for Ohio State, Coach?
Yeah, I mean, that was a really fun game to watch. I think obviously with what's on the line, with the quarterback position. But, really, he actually made a heck of a throw on his second pass. The game that was dropped right by the sideline there, and that kind of led to a 3-and-out. But he really settled down and played some great football. He distributed the ball well, had a couple nice runs. And, I think if anything, that's the part you don't entirely see in a controlled scrimmage. because you can't use your athleticism to run the ball if you're Lincoln, if they're just going to blow it dead when someone gets within 6 feet of you. So, but I thought he played very well, and it was a really cool deal to see him be the one leading him out of the tunnel.
1-2 pitch is off the hands, and Leinbach will come to make the catch off the mound. And the pitcher is of Leinbach. There's 2 down here in the top of the third. And I'll bring up the number 9 man, Landon Solik. And if that would have been a swing last Thursday when it was 40 degrees and the wind chill was in the almost 20s, that would have really hurt. Still probably hurt to Christensen, but it feels a lot better on a 60-degree day than it is when it's 40 degrees.
Yeah, there could have been sore hands and a pulled hammy relating from that play, huh?
Yeah, as the first pitch will be missed outside. Everybody that was involved with that play could have came out worse for wear if it had been 40 degrees outside. 1-0 count to Landon Solik, the second baseman. He is looking to get that batting average moving here as the spring season continues. The count's now 1-1, just 95 right now, 2 of 21. Does have a double, though, and 2 runs driven in for Solik. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That one to be fouled back, and the count's now 1-2. Hoping maybe that would have came back this way, right back towards us, but
trying to make a play here.
I try to make a play every chance I get. I try to. I've only had maybe 2 chances at High Stadium. There's a swing and a miss, and Leinbach won't allow anybody else to make plays over the last 5 outs. He has got 4 strikeouts and a small comebacker to him for those 3 outs. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on base. To the bottom of the third, no score between Pierre and Mitchell. You're listening to Pierre Governor Baseball on KCCR. Watching it on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Venture Communications has deep roots in rural South Dakota. Venture now proudly provides fiber to the home with 100% of our customers, enabling them to enjoy super fast and reliable internet connections. We'd like the opportunity to keep you in touch with the people and resources that matter most. 100% fiber and 100% committed to rural South Dakota. Call Venture Communications today at 605-852-2224, 605-852-2224, or online at venturecom.net.
At Shane's Pharmacy, your healthcare is important, and Shane wants to be the pharmacist to take care of you. Shane's Pharmacy will make sure your prescriptions are filled in a timely manner, they will answer your questions, and they will even deliver to your home or office. Call 223-9200. Shane's Pharmacy, the pharmacy you know and trust. The number again is 223-9200. Shane's Pharmacy in Fort Pierre, proud to support high school athletics.
And we welcome you back here at Hyde Stadium. No score on the American Family Insurance Sprinting Shuffle by and scoreboard. Joe Winkler alongside Steve Steele here on this Monday afternoon here at beautiful Hyde Stadium. Wind is calm. Temperatures are great. You couldn't ask for a better day. 66 degrees here in Pierre right now. The only thing that isn't perfect about it is that it's still a Monday. I mean, this would be a perfect Friday afternoon to start the weekend off right, but we do at least make your end of your weekend or the start of your week better by having some Pierre Governor baseball for you. It is going to be 8, 9, and 1. Will Danberg, Parker O'Brien, and Carter Schuffelbein. After Tyler Christensen is just 1 over the minimum so far through 2 innings. Trevor Rounds was stranded over at second base in that second inning. That's the only man left on base through the first 2.5 innings of this game, as the first pitch will be high and outside for ball 1. So we'll go back to discussing Lincoln Keenels, and you are a Michigan fan, so it pained you to watch him sign to go to Ohio State, but there's also the flip side of, to your credit, you're wanting what's best from Lincoln Keenels and not trying to make it say, hey, you can't go to Ohio State. You were supportive of him going to Ohio State because there was, Michigan and Ohio State, the fact that you can have to say the words Ohio State makes your skin crawl. And the same goes on the Ohio State fans trying to say the words Michigan, as it's 2-2 here to Will Danberg. So it just kind of goes to show you that you are supportive of Lincoln Keenels because he is at Ohio State.
Yeah, and I told him, and I think that was the last thing I told him before he went back for spring ball was, I'm like, hey, am I going to buy a hoodie this year? Because I told him originally, I'm like, this is what you want. So obviously we're all behind that, but I'm not buying a hoodie until you're the starter. You know, once you're the starter,
right.
because once you're the starter, I got to actually be an Ohio State fan. You know, and I think all my buddies back in Michigan, they actually all tuned in and watched the game too, and they were all joking the same thing. They're like, "Man, you're gonna have to buy a hoodie this year." They're just like, "We'll give you a 3-year pass."
Right.
You know, and then they're like, after that, things better go back to normal. And I'm like, well, yeah. I mean, if he's not there, then there's no reason to. But while he's there, it's definitely, you got to be okay with it, because more connection to Ohio State right now than I do to Michigan.
There's a foul back by Parker O'Brien, as a swing and a miss by Danberg for a strikeout. There's one down here in the bottom of the third. And because you've obviously had to have conversation with Ryan Day, the head coach of Ohio State, and he knows that you're a Michigan fan too. So you guys had a chance to have some fun about that. Not so much during, when Michigan beat Ohio State, but before the season got rolling, you had a chance to have some fun with it.
Yeah, and I mean, it's, they do a really good job. They've got a really good culture there, and you can see with just the few that I don't think they've had anyone actually go into the transfer portal here in the spring session, and I don't know that they'll probably take a few.
This will be a grounded over to the shortstop. Ebert will field. The throw to first will just beat O'Brien. And there's two down here in the bottom of the third inning, and it will bring up back to the top of the order in Carter Shufflebine.
Yeah, so they'll probably bring in a few. They had a few gaps to fill after that game, the spring game that they knew that they had. But I think that just especially today's day and age. I mean, I think you really can tell a lot about a program from how many people are willing to stick it out. And I think they've got a tremendous amount of people that are. And that just says a lot about it, and that's all you could really ask for as a coach for one of your players.
I think there's a puke bucket behind us for out.
We got it out.
When we go to commercial break. The Counts 1-0 here to Carter Shufflebine. The 1-0 pitch will be upstairs, and the count's now 2-0. It has, for you, it's been and even for a lot of people, I think, around here, because Ohio State's kind of been that program where you don't really have zero feelings for them. You either like them or you hate them. As here's a ground ball to the third baseman. Herman will field in the grass. The throw to first will just beat Shufflebine, and that retires the side. And we'll pick up that conversation as we head to the fourth inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on base. No score between Pierre and Mitchell through 3 innings. You're listening to Pierre Governor Baseball on KCCR, and you're watching it on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Offers reliable ground and aerial application. For the latest seed and chemical pricing, contact Kyle at 605-280-8710 or Tony at 605-280-4771. Jaeger for all your ag chemical and seed needs. Kyle, 605-280-8710 or Tony, 605-280-4771.
You just got a quote from a company and are now being billed for not choosing them. Many contracts have what's referred to as a contingency agreement. These typically state that if you don't go with them, you, after insurance has approved the repair work, will be charged a percentage of the job they quoted. Ask up front if they charge to provide an estimate. Never sign anything that you haven't fully read or understand. If you have any questions, reach out to the South Dakota Office of Attorney General's Consumer Protection Division at 800-300-1986.
As we welcome you back, we continue here at the top of the fourth inning. No score between the Pierre Governors and the Mitchell Colonels on the American Family Insurance Brittany Shufflebine scoreboard. Top of the order, Carter McCormick, who was hit by a pitch and then thrown out trying to steal second. He'll lead things off followed by Gavin Jones and Hudson Borgen. Two lefties to open things up here in the fourth, and that one is fouled back for strike one to McCormick. He is the team leader in batting average for McCormick, as he is hitting .412. 7 hits. He's tied for the most on the team. Well, Hartman's got 8, but the best batting average so far as it counts 1-1. Does have a double, 7 runs driven in, and has scored 6 times so far for McCormick. That'll be outside, and the count's 2-1 here to McCormick. So now, obviously, you're a little biased, but you think Lincoln Keno should be Game 1 starter for Ohio State this fall?
Yeah, again, honestly, unbiased-wise, I don't see a way that you pick so far. I think if Lincoln was your guy going into that scrimmage, I think he still is coming out of it. But again, I don't think that there was a ton of separation on either side from that. I think Sand played probably a little bit better first half. Lincoln played a little bit better second half. But ultimately, kind of a wash, at the end of it, So, and again, I think there's so much that you guys has to go into the dynamic of the locker room that you don't see. No one other than the coaching staff and the players see that.
It was a walk to McCormick. Leadoff man is on to kick off the top of the fourth inning. Takes off again. Well, he started to take off. Showing bunt was Jones. Took it back and took a strike. So the count's now 0-1. Maybe didn't get the best jump there from McCormick because last time he didn't. He wasn't even close to stealing second when Simpson threw him out. So, and then with Coach Norton yelling out some more numbers and everybody kind of pausing there for a second, maybe leads you into thinking that McCormick didn't get the right sign. Leinbach will step off and no throw over to the first base bag. O'Brien is in, well in. There's a swing and a miss. And again, McCormick looked like he was about ready to take off. Did not, but a swing and a miss by Jones. And the count's now 0-2. He struck out looking, kind of. Struck out being hit in the first inning. He chokes up on the bat down 0-2. That one will be high and outside. The count's 1-2. Not too often you say struck out being hit by a pitch.
It's got to be a life accomplishment of some sort.
Outside of swinging and missing and being hit by the pitch. Here's the 1-2. There's a line shot down the right field line, and that is a fair ball as it will get towards the corner. McCormick around second. He's on his way to third. He will be held up as the throw comes in. It is a double for Gavin Jones, and it's second and third with nobody out here in the top of the fourth inning. And the first sign of trouble today for either pitcher is this the first hit given up by either pitcher as we have here in the top of the fourth. And Coach Rowley will make his way out to talk with Ridge Leinbach. This is 3, 4, and 5 right now. Hudson Borgen, Jackson Hartman, and Mason Herman.
Yeah, kind of revisiting what we were talking last half inning there. I think the other neat part from a coach's side is kind of as the kids are going through their process of the recruiting deal, I think there are such thing as different schools being better for different positions. And I think that was a big part of what sold Lincoln on Ohio State is just their track record, specifically with quarterbacks. And I think we'll have a different one here with Cooper Terwilliger as he gets, 2 more years left, but he gets to have that same type of recruitment level is just, what's going to be best for a tight end versus a quarterback.
Here's the first pitch to Hudson Borgen after the mound visit. Swing and a miss for strike one. Do you feel more equipped with Cooper's recruitment right now after what Lincoln did? Do you feel like it, not so much just Cooper, but anybody else that will have the attention that Twilliger is getting right now? Do you feel like you're more equipped for it, or is it different for because one was a quarterback and one's a tight end?
It was definitely different with a quarterback as opposed to a tight end, but I would say that a lot of NCAA coaches aren't even equipped right now because they don't even know what the rules are going to be in 2 months. So, with the amount of change going on in the NCAA, no one has a great answer for what the fall is going to look like just yet.
Here's the 1-2 pitch now to Borgen. That one is taken for strike three on the outside corner, top of the zone, and there's one down. A big strikeout here for Leinbach, and a good comeback after it's second and third with nobody out. Still danger, though, with second and third and just one out. Jackson Hartman, who popped out of the first baseman, buckled in the top of the second. He's 0 for 1 as he digs in. First pitch is over for a strike, and a big first strike here, and Leinbach is filling up the zone quickly. With only one base open right now here in the top of the fourth inning. 0-1 pitch. That one's at the top of the zone for a strike. Hartman disagrees as he was looking at the top of the zone, and now Coach Norton will come down and either talk to his hitter, or I would assume will be talking to his hitter. He will talk with Jackson Hartman. Maybe he's saying just loud enough for the home plate umpire to hear. And I know you've probably done this on the football field.
Never.
No, hold on. Is that you try to get your point across by talking to the players, but making sure that the referee should be able to hear you okay?
I think I'm very direct.
You're very direct.
Very direct human being.
You just tell the referee straight where it is. Here's a foul back, and the count's 0-2. But a little bit of game within the game of kind of try to get your point across without actually being direct sometimes.
That's possible. I mean, he walked a long way to have that conversation, so there's definitely a chance.
That one will miss high and inside, and the count's now 1-2. A little bit of some oohs and ahs from the crowd. And again,
maybe the point got across.
I was going to say that maybe, again, we couldn't hear what he was saying, but it might have been just loud enough that might have helped that call be made. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That one's fouled right back to the netting again, and the count remains at 1-2.
Yeah, I got to look into that a little bit.
It's an interesting kind of, it's, hey, sometimes you say the right thing that might sway a call your way. 1-2 pitch. I want to be floated down the right field line. It will be a foul, and it will land in play, but no chance for Danberg to get over to it. The count remains at 1-2. Second and third here with one away. After a leadoff walk to McCormick, a double down the right field line for Gavin Jones. Borgen struck out looking, and Hartman down the count 1-2. Leinbach works from the windup, 1-2 pitch. There's a fly ball to right field. Danberg will go back on it. He will make the catch. Runner from third will tag, as well from second, and it will be no throw to the plate. It'll be a sacrifice fly for Hartman, and it is a 1-0 lead for Mitchell here in the top of the fourth inning. So the leadoff walk comes back around to hurt the Governors. And they're still threatening here with two away. And a runner 90 feet away from making a 2-0 lead. But here's now Mason Herman, who struck out looking in his first at-bat. But being second and third and nobody out, to try and limit this to just only one run would be big. But sign, maybe a little miscommunication on signs, trying to make sure they're on the right page. Charlie Simpson goes out and talks with Ridge Leinbach. We'll be able to hear soon. We'll talk some hockey coming up in just a little bit, because you've got another guy that is doing some fun things that you coach. Here's a swing and a miss on the first pitch, and it counts 0-1 here to Mason Herman. Got to be kind of fun to some of these guys. Like, it's always fun to watch guys, whatever sport you're coaching, go and play at the next level. But to see some of these, all these guys that have gone in to play the next level in college, high level, all the way down to NAIA, Division III, Division II, whatever it is. But then, guys that are now playing hockey that are at the USHL level, and other guys that have played at the NA3HL level. Got to be a lot of fun to watch these guys move on from high school and still play the sport that you coached them in.
It is. I mean, it's a lot of fun to follow those kids as they move on, and especially it's really cool to have so many devices like for football season. Got a strike there again. So during football season, where you just have like 4 screens, because a lot of the games will be between that noon and 3 o'clock window. So you're just trying to keep in touch and follow along with how everyone's doing, and just see them continue to enjoy something that you were maybe a part of and building that passion.
The 3-2 pitch is cut on and missed by Mason Herman. That will retire the side. 1 run scores on 1 hit in the inning. There is no errors and 1 man left on base. So the Govs do get around damage, but it is still a 1-0 lead for Mitchell over Pierre as we head to the bottom of the fourth. You're listening to Pierre Governor Baseball on KCCR, and you're watching it on YouTube at KCCR Sports. Beck Motor Company is proud to sponsor the Pierre Governors baseball team this season. Just like the Governors, we believe in hard work, dedication, and striving for excellence every day. As these young athletes give it their all on the field, Beck Motor Company is here to deliver top-quality Chevy and Cadillac vehicles and unbeatable service. We're committed to supporting our community, and there's no better way to show that than backing our hometown team. Visit Beck Motor Company today and find the perfect vehicle to fit your lifestyle. www.beck-motors.com. 605-224-5912. Go Govs!
Walking together in faith, living together in faith, working together in faith, that's who we are.
Hi, this is Pastor Sam Hanschke. I hope that our athletes have an excellent and successful season. I pray that God would continue to richly bless them. I invite you to join me in praying for our athletes during the year.
We're Faith Lutheran and we are glad you're here.
As we welcome you back, we continue here at the bottom of the fourth, the 1-0 lead between Mitchell and Pierre as the Govs will try and answer back after the RBI sac fly from Jackson Hartman. It is 2-3-4 here for the Governors. Sutton, Sun and Shine, Charlie Simpson and Dawson Getz. Anybody reaches base, it'll be Rich Leimbach. As we nearly hit the halfway point of game number 1 of our doubleheader here today. Here's the first pitch from Christensen. Be upstairs for ball 1. So talking hockey now, Carter Sanderson, who played for Post State, never quite got the chance to play for the Governor High School team, as there's a swing and a miss and the count's now 1-1. But he did get a chance to play a little bit of Post State baseball, and of course for the Hawaii Capitals for 1 year during his 8th grade year. He is now with Muskegon Lumberjacks in USHL, as this will be popped up infield, right side. The second baseman and Solik will call for it. The leadoff man is retired to kick off the bottom of the 4th. And it brings up Charlie Simpson. But they're now only 1 win away from the Eastern Conference Final in the USHL. It's got to be fun to keep paying attention to what Sanderson's been doing, too.
Yeah, I mean, again, hockey is just such a different sport because, I mean, your timeline's bumped up 4 years.
Yeah.
Really. Him being an all-state performer as an 8th grader shows that.
And he's a junior in high school right now. He'd be a junior in high school.
Yeah. And then just trying to imagine what he'd be still doing if he was here, like just how insane some of the numbers would be, especially with following, some of the guys. The Rapid had a couple players with some crazy stats, and just thinking what he'd be. But,
Simpson will shoot this one out towards left center field, and the left fielder, and McCormick, will track it down, reaching over his head to make the catch, and takes extra bases away from Simpson. And there's 2 down now here in the bottom of the 4th, and it's up to Dawson Getz to try and get something moving here in this inning.
Yeah, but it'll be it'll be a fun game. They should hopefully get to play in Sioux Falls next year. They're opposite conference, so they had Sioux Falls in Muskegon this year. So next year they should be in Sioux Falls. I'm sure that'll be a big packed house, and just really cool to see anyone from, again, a smaller town, Pierre, especially in a sport that you don't see it as much in hockey, be able to make it to that level, and be really cool to see him playing. Well, sorry for the Gopher fans, I guess, but it'll be cool to see him playing at the next level at UND here in a couple years, whenever he does make that leap.
Counts 1-1 to Dawson Getz. This will be popped up on the right side. Solik will call for it as he will give way to the right fielder, Jones, who calls him off, and rightfully so calls him off. And another fly out for Getz, and that retires the side. Another 1-2-3 inning for Tyler Christensen. He is through 4 shutout innings. Mitchell leads Pierre 1-0 as we head to the 5th. You're listening to Pierre Governor Baseball on KCCR. Watching it on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Did you know it is important for your child to see the dentist at the time their first tooth erupt? A healthy smile begins at birth, and there are many variables, from healthy eating habits to good oral hygiene and routine dental care. Hi, I am Dr. Michelle Hofer. At Missouri River Dentistry, we enjoy working with people of all ages. Dentistry is our profession, but people are our focus. I invite families to come experience an office that uses the latest techniques and equipment to be sure you receive that healthy and happy smile. To schedule your appointments for your family, call us at 223-2021. Kids love us, parents trust us.
Wagner Auto Company is your complete transportation headquarters. You'll find a great selection of quality new Buick, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Ram, and Jeep vehicles, plus a great selection of quality pre-owned and certified pre-owned vehicles. They'll take good care of you after the sale with a full-service parts and body shop, along with a friendly financing team that'll do their best to get you into your next new or pre-owned vehicle with financing that fits your budget. Wagner Auto is your local family-owned full-service dealership in Pierre. WagnerAuto.com. That's WagnerAuto.com.
As we welcome you back, it is the top of the 5th. Pierre Governors down 1-0 on the American Family Insurance Printing Shufflebine scoreboard. Parker Mandel, Jacob Ebert, and Baylor Christensen, 6, 7, and 8 here for the Mitchell Colonels. In the top of the 5th, Rich Leimbach works his way into the 5th inning after that 4th, where he had a walk and a double and a sac fly that scored that 1 run to make that their only tally so far and only hit so far between these two teams. As we head into the top of the 5th, John Winkler alongside Steve Steele. As Parker Mandel digs in, he struck out looking in his first at-bat. He's 0 for 1. The right-handed hitting Mandel will foul the first pitch away for strike 1. I guess there is a possibility that we could still see Sanderson play in Sioux Falls, because the Stampede, if they get to the championship, and so does Muskegon, we'd see them actually be able to to play. He would play in Sioux Falls.
That's true.
So there's still that possibility this year, which would be
awesome.
Really awesome to see that take place, in the playoffs, because that's the only way that they'd ever meet in the playoffs would be in the championship round. Here's the 1-1 pitch. There's a half swing, but a called strike, and it's now 1-2. That's the other thing too is we talk about Gray Zabel going to be NFL draft. There's guys from South Dakota that have played in the NFL, and that doesn't take away, as there's a swing and a miss from Mandel, and he will strike out for the second time in his 2 trips, and it brings up Jacob Ebert. Doesn't take away from the greatness that Gray Zabel has and what we'll see from Pierre, but there's only one guy in the NHL from South Dakota that was born in South Dakota. Now, Sanderson's still got a long way to go. We're not saying that he's going to be drafted by any means right now or yet, but that would be something to continue to follow him, because he's on that track to potentially be that second guy from the state of South Dakota.
Yeah, and he would have a shot. I believe it'd be next year would be his NHL draft year, technically, more than likely, because this year I think he'd be eligible, but next year would probably be the year he'd be more likely to. But I mean, I don't remember if Walker Dewar was drafted or if he was just a signing. I kind of think he was just a signing.
They say that Ebert swings, and that will be strike 3, and a pitch low and away, tagged by Simpson, and back-to-back strikeouts for Leinbach, 3 in a row, dating back to last inning, and there's 2 down, and brings up Baylor Christensen, the catcher, who was 0 for 1, who lined out off the hands to the pitcher in Leinbach. Here's the first pitch, swing and a miss, and the other side of it too is that Sanderson can get drafted and go play at UND for however many years that NHL team wants him to go play for. That one will miss just inside the counts 1-1. That's the other crazy thing about hockey, is that you get drafted in high school, but everybody's okay with it, and they want you to go play in college before actually joining them on the NHL roster. This will be fouled back in the counts 1-2.
A lot closer to a baseball system, where you get drafted and they can hold your rights. And
they don't hold your rights if you go to college.
Yeah, never mind. I guess you technically would go down.
Yeah, you can't get drafted and then go to college still. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That'll be upstairs. But yeah, NHL is they draft you and hold your rights until they either don't want you or maybe trade you or whatever. But they hold your rights until you're there, or they don't want you anymore.
Or I think there's a time limit, because then that's also the fun part of the year where
there's a ground ball. O'Brien will move to his left to make the play, and that will retire the side. 5-3 in the putout. Coach Steele will continue that in the bottom of the 5th inning. Another 1-2-3 inning for Reg Leinbach. 1-0 between Mitchell and Pierre on the American Family Insurance Brittany Shufflebine scoreboard. You're listening to Pierre Governor Baseball on KCCR, and you're watching it on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
People helping people.
Have you ever wondered what the benefits are of becoming a Owyhee Federal Credit Union member? At Owyhee Federal Credit Union, we reinvest profits in you. We do this in the form of lower interest rates, higher dividends, and low to no fees. So come check us out or come in at 221 East Pleasant Drive in Pierre, because at Owyhee Federal Credit Union, we treat our members like they own the place, because, well, they do.
Owyhee Federal Credit Union.
Most of us already know that Gales Gas of Pierre is the place to call for propane. They offer an automatic fill plan, so you never have to worry about running out of propane. They accept debit and credit payments or a budget payment plan to spread out the cost throughout the year, so you never have surprises when you get your bill. For delivery, convenience, and great customer service, call Gales Gas at 224-5518. That's Gales Gas at 224-5518.
As we welcome you back here to Hyde Stadium, it is 1-0 Mitchell in the bottom of the 5th, as it will be Rich Leinbach, Trevor Rounds, and J.J. Buckles. Tyler Christensen so far, and because we are the Pierre broadcast, he has 4 no-hit innings. If it was the Pierre Governor guy, well, which I did that to Lincoln Keenels, and he still got a no-hitter. So, but we can say it because, we can say there's no hitter going on because the other team that's got the no hitter. Although if anybody from Mitchell is watching or listening right now, they're extremely not happy with me.
Yeah, you might have some good comments on the YouTube page here.
Yeah, they are probably not. I'm not too. They're not fond of me right now. But it is going to be 5, 6, and 7, Ridge Lineback, Trevor Rounds, and J.J. Buckles. Anybody reaches base, Will Danberg. Just one guy left on base. Only one base runner so far for the Pierre Governors. It was a 2-out walk to Trevor Rounds, and he was stranded on at second as the first pitch will miss for ball one to the opposing pitcher, Ridge Lineback. And Coach Steele, you looked it up saying that Walker Dewar did not get drafted. So if Sanderson were to get drafted, and again, that's the hope, and I think he's on the track to be someone that can be drafted, but he'd be the first South Dakota player ever to get drafted. Here's a ground ball to the shortstop. Ebert makes a nice play moving in, takes on the short hop, the throw to first, retires Lineback, and the leadoff man is retired here in the bottom of the fifth.
The center fielder, number 32.
And it brings up Trevor Rounds. But what a cool group this is right now collectively for Pierre athletics and what the Pierre area has been able to see just over the last 3-4 years. And that doesn't even include some of these guys that played through Pierre Governor system on any team that either played Division I. Landon Badger played Division I baseball at South Dakota State, and Garrett Stout played in Division I baseball at South Dakota State. There are a lot of guys that played a lot of college sports, but there's just so much athleticism in the Pierre community. Here's a ground ball to the second baseman. Solik will field, and that retires Rounds, and there's two quickly down here in the bottom of the fifth.
Yeah, I think that's been a neat thing throughout the state, is just to see more and more big time college athletes coming from South Dakota as a state, and then obviously within Pierre, I'd agree. It's the same. It's still becoming more, but you're coming from, relatively little. I don't think we'd ever had an FBS player until Lincoln and Jason here a couple years ago. But now hopefully we're going to continue to have a few more. But, we're looking NFL-wise. There's maybe a handful, right? South Dakota players. But just last year, Mason McCormick from SDSU goes to the Steelers, starts there, and you've got the tight ends from SDSU that have been there, but you're starting to see more and more from the state here being able to make it to the big show.
Here's the 0-1 pitch to J.J. Buckles, and a miss outside for ball one. I think, would you agree too that some of social media has been able to help out South Dakota a little bit more? Because some of these guys that have gone through here that didn't make their way, as this will be flown out towards right field, and Gavin Jones will make the catch, and it's going to be 5 no-hit innings right now for Christensen. We'll keep it here on Casey's here to finish up the conversation, because there are guys, and I'm not going to really name a whole lot of names, but there are names that, boy, some of those guys are really good football players that maybe just missed being seen and should have been seen by more than the colleges that they end up going to, the lower D2, or not even lower, but just D2 colleges. There were some really great guys that I'm not so sure how they didn't get seen at some point, like Lincoln and Jason and Cooper are being seen right now. There's some really great names that, again, we're some great athletes in Pierre.
Yeah, and I think that even just looking at Cooper, for example, right now, it's a very large commitment from a college to come and see Cooper, because you either have to fly through Denver, or you have to fly to Sioux Falls or Rapid City and drive 3 hours after you fly to Sioux Falls or Rapid City, knowing that you then have to fly 3 hours back, or drive 3 hours back to fly out. So it's a very, very big commitment for them to send anyone specifically to this town to come and talk to our kids. And I think prior to social media really getting big, how did you hear a whole bunch? Because now you can kind of see the film a little bit easier, and you can kind of get your foot in the door of like, okay, he's in this group of guys that we want to go see. Where before, if you don't have a surefire, we need to go see this guy, you're probably going to take your chances looking at a guy you're hearing about in a metro area or down south than you are going to be in the middle of South Dakota.
Yeah, and when you go to New York City and start looking at guys, you might find yourself seeing another guy somewhere where just a little bit harder to, if you're watching one guy in Pierre and you see the rest of that team, the team they're facing probably doesn't have anybody that's maybe worth looking at for the sake of your visit, as the count is 1-1 here to the leadoff man, number 9 man, Landon Solik. They will check over at first base. He did not swing. So it's 1-1 to Solik here in the top of the 6th. He is 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Here's the 1-1. That was a check swing, and that is a full swing. And the count's now 1-2 here to Solik. But boy, we've seen some really talented athletes come through the Pierre area. That one is upstairs, and the count's now 2-2. And we're continuing to see that through, senior class this year and the next years. We can really see some great athletes starting to rise here in the high school ranks, as there's a swing and a miss and another strikeout for Leinbach. Second time that Solik goes down, and there's one down to open up the top of the 6th.
Yeah, and I really think that's just making it easier because, again, if you're coming out to Pierre as a college coach, you're only coming to Pierre.
Yeah.
You're more than likely not stopping anywhere else. A few years ago, you were coming to see Nash on the way through. You might have a Sioux Falls kid that you're seeing, or a Sioux Falls area kid, but otherwise, you're pretty much coming here for one reason, and that'd be to come see whoever's in Pierre.
First pitch was taken for a strike to McCormick. Then that one misses high and outside. The count's 1-1 to McCormick, who's been on base both times, hit by a pitch and a walk so far. That one will be just missing low and away, and the count's now 2-1. By the way, that was 10 strikeouts now for Leinbach in the ball game through 5 1/3 innings. But McCormick's been the tough out so far for Leinbach. That one will be over first strike, and the count's now 2-2. Gavin Jones and McCormick, the two lefties that are back-to-back in the order, they have combined to reach base 3 of the 4 times they've come to the plate. Jones struck out looking in his first at-bat. It's the only time that they've been retired. 2-2 is grounded foul down the first base line. The count remains 2 balls and 2 strikes to the leadoff man. Bottom of the 6th for the Governors. It'll be 8-9-1. Will Danberg, Parker O'Brien, and Carter Shufflebine. Here's the 2-2 that is upstairs, and the count's now 3-2. Looking to retire McCormick for the first time. 3-2 pitch. That one will be flown out towards center field. There is Trevor Rounds. He moves 2 steps to his left. He'll make the catch, and there are 2 down. First time that McCormick has been retired in the ball game, and it brings up the number 2 man, and Gavin Jones, who has the double that got Mitchell in scoring position for the first time, and the one of 2 guys, because it was McCormick and Jones both in scoring position, but one of 2 guys for Mitchell that went into scoring position. The only 2 guys so far. That one's upstairs, and the count's now 1-0. Meanwhile, the Governors, their one man that's reached base and Rounds in the walk got to second. So they did have a guy in scoring position with 2 outs. That'll be flown out of play. Might make its way to Capitol, and the count's 1-1. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error for Mitchell. No runs, no hits, no errors for the Governors. 1-1 pitch. That'll be fouled out of play, almost in the exact same spot, and the count is now 1-2. Looking for 1-2-3 inning here is Leinbach. 1-2 pitch. That's high and outside. He was the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. See if they can get to Christensen in the bottom of the 6th inning. They got to get there first. Here's a ground ball that is fouled down the first base line again. There's a little bit of activity in the right field bullpen, or about to start some activity in the right field bullpen. Leinbach looking for his 11th strikeout. And a slow ground ball to third baseman O'Brien, who will field in the charge. He'll throw to first to retire the side. And a 3-up, 3-down inning for Leinbach here in the 6th. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Still 1-0. Mitchell leads Pierre. Back in a minute on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Dakota Sprinkler and Landscaping wants to make it easy for you to get that lush green lawn and that yard haven that you've been dreaming of. Visit dakota.sprinkler.com to make appointments for sprinkler system spring startup, service calls, fall winterization, and landscaping quotes. Trust Dakota Sprinkler and Landscaping's professionals to get you through the planning and installation to make your landscaping needs a reality. Visit dakota.sprinkler.com today.
Hey you. Are you at a job that is fulfilling, has good benefits to support you or a family today, and retirement goes down the road? If you just said no, listen up. CHS River Plains is hiring operations personnel, drivers, and custom applicators at several locations. These come with a knockout affordable benefit package for you and the whole family. Apply to a job with CHS River Plains and up your benefits straight up. To apply, visit us online at chsriverplains.com or stop in at one of our locations. CHS is an equal opportunity employer.
As we welcome you back, bottom of the sixth, 1-0 is our score. The American Family Insurance, Brittany Schuffelbein scoreboard. And it will be Cooper Terwilliger that will lead things off. Cooper will get his first chance in a competitive game since the state championship football game way back in early November. And a sight for sore eyes to see Cooper getting back to competition. And it's awesome to see that Cooper, and he'll increase his role a little bit more as the spring and summer goes on. But a guy that battled through a shoulder injury, came back, I don't know if early is the right word, as he'll swing at the first pitch. He takes it right away, but he grounds it right to the third baseman, and Herman, who will fire to first, and that will retire Terwilliger in Danberg's spot in the first pitch. And it brings up Parker O'Brien, number 9 man.
Yeah, I know Coop was just chomping at the bit to get back into the game. I think he got cleared maybe two and a half weeks ago now, and he's excited, and it's exciting to feel someone with the energy that he's got right now.
First pitch to O'Brien. He'll pop this one up on the right side. Mandel will backpedal. He'll make the catch, and there's 2 pitches and 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th inning. And I would think that Carter Schuffelbein will take a pitch. Probably don't want a 3-pitch inning.
Yeah, going right after him so far this inning.
I mean, if you're Christensen, this is fastball right down the middle. Bait Schuffelbein into swinging, but he throws it high for ball 1. Because you know that they're taking the pitch, and if you feel like it, then your mind's telling you to take the pitch, and Schuffelbein will foul that one back. But if you see it right down the middle, you think too much late of it, saying, oh, this is a perfect pitch to swing at, so you do, and you end up popping it up or whatever you might do. So it's we got to go right down the middle with it and go right after him. But it is 3 pitches in this at-bat at least here for Schuffelbein. That'll be outside and counts 2-1.
Now, if I know Cooper, he was walking to the plate saying, I'm hitting this thing right away. He was just right away going for it. He was itching for it, ready to go.
I don't think there is any chance that Cooper was wanting anything else but than to swing at it. This will be fouled down the right field side, and the count's now 2-2. And we'll see if Schuffelbein can keep this from being a 1-2-3 inning for Christensen. And that will be high for ball 3, and the count's now 3-2. We'll see if Schuffelbein can draw a walk, be the second base runner. Swings and misses and strikes out. 6 shutout, no-hit innings for Tyler Christensen. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on base. We head to the 7th. It is a 1-0 lead for Mitchell over Pierre. Back in a minute here on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. Larry Fry Heating and Cooling has a new name. Kruger Climate Systems has acquired Larry Fry Heating and Cooling, but it's still the same great service. Your friend Larry Fry is still a manager, and his dedication to providing you with outstanding service remains unwavering. Same quality products and services you have come to expect from Larry Fry Heating and Cooling will continue under the new leadership of Kruger Climate Systems. You can still reach us at 605-224-9548 or email us at ryan@krugercontracting.com. Kruger Climate Systems, your certified Trane and Mitsubishi dealer in Central South Dakota.
Step up to the plate with Kathy Sunshine Properties in Pierre, your go-to for buying, selling, and finding your perfect home. Whether you're looking for a cozy cottage or a spacious family home, Kathy Sunshine Properties has you covered. We're committed to helping you make your next big move, on the field or in your life. Ready to find your dream home? Call Kathy Sunshine Properties at 605-224-5588. Your home run in real estate.
As we welcome you back, top of the 7th, it is a 1-0 lead for the Mitchell Colonels on the American Family Insurance Brittany Schuffelbein scoreboard. As it is Hudson Borgen, Jackson Hartman, and Mason Herman Porter Hunsley is out in right field now to take over for Danberg's spot, and Terwilliger will not play the field quite yet, as that'll be missing low and away for ball 1 to Borgen. Everybody else stays the same, so it is in the number 8 spot as there's a swing and a miss for a strike to Hudson Borgen. 3, 4, and 5 here in the top of the 7th, and a 1-0 lead here for the Mitchell Colonels. This has been to a T what the Governors have done all season, has played low-scoring, close baseball games. There haven't been, 5-4, a couple, one score, 3-2 in 10 innings. There's a line shot into center field. That'll be the second hit of the game. It gets into the gap in right center field. Hunsley will cut it off and the throw back in. So there is a runner on first to kick things off here in the top of the 7th. And it brings up Jackson Hartman. We got the sac fly RBI, the only run that has been tallied so far in this first inning. And only the second hit now of the ball game for the Mitchell Colonels, and in total, the second hit of the ball game. Hartman is 0 for 1 with that sac fly RBI. He popped out of the first baseman, J.J. Buckles, back in the top of the 2nd. Here's the first pitch. This will be fouled back. It'll make its way into the stands. The count's 0-1. Hunsley, who takes over in right field, just a freshman for this Governor team, and I think Blake Dean and I were talking about it on Thursday, that it's hard to remember that Porter Hunsley is just a freshman. This is just fouled back, and the count's now 0-2 because of the role he had with the Pierre Governor football team this year. Feels like, and then of course you have he wrestled in the wintertime, but from season to season calling his games, it feels like he's a junior and senior at this point, because was so involved in such a big role for the Governors. As the 0-2 pitch is a swing and a miss by Hartman, who was well laid on the fastball, and there's a strikeout, 11th strikeout of the game for Ridge Leinbach, 1 down here in the top of the 7th.
Yeah, it's not every day that you see a freshman that's a 3-sport starter, or a 3-sport varsity player, I guess, better way of saying it. But he's going to be a good one. I know we're really excited about his skill set and his work ethic, and he's very natural at a lot of things.
Looking to try and take off before the pitch was thrown was Borgen, but he didn't get the good jump. Leinbach held him on a little bit later than what Borgen was wanting to. It was fouled away, and the count's 0-1. He needs some baseballs in the home plate umpire.
Say, it looked like he really liked that one. He took off after that foul ball. Just like, I want that one.
I think
I think it was his only one, but it looked like he was like, we need that one exactly.
We need that exact baseball to come back. Counts 0-1 here to Mason Herman, who is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Everybody in the lineup except for McCormick and Baylor Christensen have taken a strikeout. Runner takes off. That is fouled back, and the count's 0-2. A little bit better of a jump there for Borgen. Obviously a better jump because he continued to take off with it. But the count's quickly 0-2 here to Mason Herman. 11 strikeouts for Ridge Leinbach. Looking for number 12. And we'll see if Borgen takes off again. How about strike him out, throw him out to get us into the bottom of the 7th. 0-2 pitch. Runner not moving. That one's high and outside. Still could happen. Counts 1-2 here.
Get to hit him out, throw him out.
Mason.
Guess it's a dead ball, so never mind.
You can't do that. You're just trying to see that play happen again, where you get a strikeout on a hit batter that didn't swing the bat. Here's 1-2. Runner takes off. The pitch is high. The throw to second. So it's going to be just wide of the bag, and sliding in safely is Borgen. And so he will take second to get into scoring position, and the count's now 2-2. And now it becomes even more vital to get Herman out for the 3rd straight time. Charlie Simpson will make his way out, making sure they're right on signs. You have Herman, Parker Mandel, and Jacob Ebert. These 3 guys in the order are all 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. They've combined to go 0 for 6 with 6 strikeouts so far. So these are, sometimes you say, well, you want to get a force out of it. Just go right after these hitters because they haven't put the ball in play yet. Make it a 2-0 game. Don't wait till you get down to number 8 and number 9. Go right after these guys.
Yeah, with as few of base runners as there's been today, there's no reason to stay away from anybody.
Here's the 2-2. That one will get to the backstop, and over to third will go Borgen. A wild pitch fills the count and puts the runner over at third. Even more imperative to get a strikeout here. Infield should come in all the way around. They don't want to trade any outs for runs being in the top of the seventh. And they will bring the infield in. So ground ball, they will force that runner to stay at third. That one will be taken for strike three, and there's a second out. And now the infield can go back to normal depth to try and get the ground out to end the inning.
That was a big pitch.
Will we see new man come in? That was a big pitch. We'll see if we have someone else come into the ball game. That was pitch number close to the 105 mark for Ridge Limbach anyway. It was 101, and so that will end the day for Limbach, and they will have to try and get one more out somewhere from Brennan McCullough that will come into pitch for Limbach. We will step aside. We'll come back in a minute. We'll tell you the McCullough stats and reset you for this top of the seventh, 2 outs. Back in a minute here on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
AGE Corporation has been building South Dakota for nearly 60 years. For all your site work, construction, and crane needs, AGE is there for you. If you need a boat dock and dock lighting, AGE has what you need. Visit their website, agecorp.com, or give them a call at 223-2732. AGE Corporation, providing high-quality services without sacrificing safety. Visit agecorp.com or call 223-2732.
As community bankers, BankWest employees are deeply committed to supporting local causes, growing the local economy, and creating local opportunities. At a time when you can bank anywhere, we hope you choose BankWest. We'll be your financial partner for the long haul, helping you and your community achieve financial success. BankWest. Convenient, connected, committed. Member FDIC.
It is Brennan McCullough that is on the mound here for the Pierre Governors with 2 outs and a runner on third as Limbach went 101 pitches. And his day comes to an end just one batter short of 7 complete innings. But he finished with 12 strikeouts and 2 outs. Parker Mandel be the first man to face the lefty. And Brennan McCullough, who so far, this will be his third appearance. He has thrown 3 1/3 in 2 relief appearances so far. 2 hits, 1 run. It was an earned run. 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. The ERA at 2.1 and a whip at 1.5. Batting average against at 167. And again, these guys now, as the lineup is against McCullough, but they're 0 for 2 as Mandel, 0 for 2 as Ebert, both striking out twice. So you really want to go after these guys. As it is McCullough to take on Parker Mandel. Try and keep this a 1-0 game heading into the bottom of the 7th inning. First pitch. There's a line shot into right field. That's going to get down for a base hit. Took 1 pitch, and Mandel gets a RBI single. Makes it a 2-0 lead here for Mitchell in the top of the 7th. And that will officially close the book on Ridge Limbach. We'll give you his totals here in just a moment. Just the 3rd hit of the ball game for Mitchell. So officially closing the book for Ridge Limbach, 6 2/3 innings, giving up just 2 hits, 2 runs. Both of them earned 1 walk and 12 strikeouts. He did hit 1 man, and he threw 107 pitches. And we have a courtesy runner, as it'll be Cannon Moeller that will run for Mandel. Puts a little bit more pressure on the Governors now. We have not had a hit yet. This will be popped up. This will be foul, and that will land in the seats. And Roger Getz, I believe, made the catch and threw it back into play. It was Roger Getz that didn't make that catch. Still showing he's an athlete.
Banana ball, that's an out.
That's right. The inning's over. Banana ball. Jeez. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Here's a line shot through the left side for a base hit. Just past the outstretched arms of Dawson Getz, and it's first and second now with 2 away. And it brings up Baylor Christensen. Christensen 0 for 2 with a liner, soft liner back to the pitcher, Leinbach. And then he ground out to O'Brien 5-3 to end the top of the 5th inning. So now first and second, Simpson will go out and make sure signs are set with McCullough. 107 pitches for Rich Leinbach. I mean, he was 105 is the max. Obviously, you can go over 105 to finish in that bat. But how close he was to getting through those 7 complete innings. And Leinbach, who dealt with that injury last year, that he started about 3 games and he was done for the rest of the spring and summer, has come back and his velocity looks good. Assuming the arm looks good at throwing, 80 pitches in his first outing, at 107 now here in this outing. The 0-1 pitch, this will be off the handle. That'll be foul to the first base sign. That counts 0-2.
Yeah, and it was a great start from him today. I mean, he did a great job. They didn't get in a rhythm at all, and just it's tough when you got to find a way to manufacture some runs here. So hopefully we can do that here in the 7th.
See what the Governors could do here in the 7th inning. It'll be 2, 3, and 4, but they got to get there first. They got to get this final out. 0-2 pitch. This will be popped up right side, softly coming in, and Huxley will make the catch to retire the side here in the top of the 7th inning. 1 run does score on 3 hits in the inning, no errors, and 2 men left on base. Last chance for the Governors, who are down 2-0 to Mitchell. As we head to the bottom of the 7th, back in a minute here on KCCR and on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
Are you a farmer in the Highmore area? Do you need a trusted partner for your grain and agronomy needs? Look no further than AgTegra. AgTegra is built on a legacy of farmer-owned cooperatives, providing superior service and relentless innovation for generations. We're committed to your success and the safety of our employees and members. For your grain needs, call Chance Scott at 605-846-1099. And for all your agronomy needs, reach out to Cole Hamlin at 605-871-9572. AgTegra, growing together for generations.
Hello, I'm Pastor Jeff Lathrop of Pierre First United Methodist Church, and I'd like to invite you to join us in person for worship on Sunday mornings at 8:30 a.m. or 11 a.m. You can also join us on Facebook Live or on KCCR 1240 a.m. or 98.9 FM for our Sunday morning broadcast at 11 a.m. Come worship with us at First United Methodist Church, where you will find open hearts, open minds, and open doors.
It is the bottom of the 7th, and it is a 2-0 lead now for Mitchell on the American Family Insurance Brittany Shufflebine scoreboard. John McClure alongside Steve Steele, 2, 3, and 4, Sutton Sunshine, Charlie Simpson, and Dawson Getz. He might reach his base, and outside of a 3-run home run somewhere, we need to have Rich Leinbach come to the plate. I mean, it'd be great to see Dawson Getz hit a 3-run homer and walk us off, but we got to get guys on base for the Governors to try and get this win. 65 pitches so far for Tyler Christensen through 6 innings. That is Isaac Pollock type status of amount of pitches in a 6-inning start. Pollock is the last guy that I can remember that through 7 complete innings that could still pitch on a 4th day. You have to, after 80 pitches, you have to take 4 days off. He threw only like 73 in 7 innings for Isaac Pollock in a complete game a couple years ago. So this is kind of that territory right now as the first pitch is swung on and got a piece of it with sun and shine, but he fouls it away for strike 1. It's a guy that you got to know real well coaching hockey, as Pollock was such a swing and a miss, and the count's now 0-2. Such a great guy defensively for the Hawaii Capitals.
He was, and again, he was very efficient in everything he did, the same way on the hockey rink. So really, I mean, it wasn't surprising back then to see him operate the way he did on the mound, and he's doing well out west now.
0-2 pitch is outside, the count's now 1-2. Sun and Shine is 0 for 2. Simpson 0 for 2 and Getz 0 for 2. The Governors are still looking for their first hits. Only 1 base runner so far. That'll bounce in, and the count's now 2-2. Rounds drew a walk in the bottom of the second, but then he was stranded on at second base, and the only base runner for the Govs. That'll miss low and away, and the count's 3-2. Got to be a base runner. Even if you don't get a base hit right away, just got to find a way to get on base. We pitch number 71 here for Christensen. Outside for ball 4, and that is the first base runner since the bottom of the second. And it brings up Charlie Simpson. Well, so far, so good to try and get that 3-run homer to walk us off. Charlie Simpson digs in. He ground out to the first baseman to end the first inning. Flew out to the left fielder. Almost had the first hit. But it was a great play by McCormick out in left field, reaching over his head to make the catch. First pitch is upstairs for ball 1. No activity in the left field bullpen for Mitchell. And I don't know why you would really want to start that quite yet, because McCormick's given up just 2 walks with 5 strikeouts. 1-0 pitch. That is upstairs, and the count's now 2-0. I think he'd maybe see some activity. Coach Norton, I think, might be making his way out to have a conversation before the next pitch. Yep, it will be. He jogs out of the dugouts, kind of settle his pitcher down. I know it's, you can't not look up at the scoreboard and see that there's 0 hits right now. And for a high school kid to, major leaguer, to go out there and try and finish off a no-hitter is really tough. But for a high school kid who says, this might be my only shot to ever do this, it's got to be a little bit of some nerves walking on the mound to start the 7th inning.
Well, and just you're changing. I mean, you're going from a windup to a stretch for, probably the second time in the game. I mean, it's all different right now.
Here's the 2-0. That one's at the top of the zone for a strike. The count's now 2-1. The Pierre fans didn't like the strike call, but Simpson still heading the count 2-1. He could tie this game up with 1 swing. He did hit a home run against Mitchell last spring. That one's upstairs. Now it's a really good hitter's count at 3-1 for Charlie Simpson. Leading away from first is Sutton Sunshine. The 3-1 pitch from Christensen. That is taken for a strike. Simpson thought maybe it was going to be ball 4, but he'll dig back in. 3-2 count. It's a 2-0 lead for Mitchell, so Sunshine, his run means a lot, but doesn't mean everything. Got to be careful on the base pass as well. Not running, 3-2 pitch, reaching for it, popping it up, coming in from right field. The make the catch, the throw back to first. They will double off Sunshine. And there's 2 down here in the bottom of the 7th. Sunshine got caught off thinking maybe that the catch wasn't going to be made by the right fielder, but Jones came in, made the catch, threw a strike to first. And there's 2 down now here in the 7th. And as Dawson Getz is up to Getz to get that first base hit, but really start the 2-out rally here for the Governors. First pitch is over for strike 1. Pitch number 78 from Christensen. 0-1 pitch. That one is a curveball that drops right there for a strike, and the count's now 0-2, and quickly the Govs are down to their final strike here. 2 runs, 4 hits, 1 error for Mitchell. No runs, no hits, no errors for the Governors. 0-2 pitch. That'll miss low and away. Govs are trying to keep from being no hit after having 14 hits last Thursday in the 10-inning win against Aberdeen. Hitless here in this game. 1-2. That'll bounce in. Counts 2-2. Getz, Ridge Leinbach, and Trevor Rouse. There is the re-entry rule in high school, so Leinbach can come back in and hit. 2-2 pitch. Ground ball to the second baseman. Solik will field the throw to first. It is a no-hitter for Tyler Christensen as the Mitchell Colonels shut out the Governors 2-0 in game 1 of our doubleheader. On a 4-3 ground out, no runs, no hits, no errors, and no one left on base. 2-0 is our final score. We'll come back and wrap up game number 1 after this. You're listening to Pierre Governor Baseball on KCCR, watching it on YouTube at KCCR Sports.
When you're in town for the big game, Why not stay where the view is just as great as the action? American in Fort Pierre sits right on the river, offering beautiful scenery, relaxing comfort, and easy access to the ballpark. After a day at the Diamond, there's nothing better than unwinding by the water, and the American always hits it out of the park. Stay by the river. Stay in comfort. Call 605-223-2358 to book your room today. American, where the river meets relaxation. Step up to the plate with Overhead Door Company of Pierre. Like your favorite team, we deliver reliability, strength, and top-notch performance. For over 100 years, Overhead Door has been the most respected name in the industry. From commercial or residential repairs to full upgrades, our team of technicians stand ready to provide winning results. Don't let a faulty garage door strike you out. Look for the signature red ribbon and call the industry MVP at 605-224-6200. Bring your garage door game to the big leagues.
Is your roof ready for the next South Dakota storm? Don't wait till it's too late. For over 25 years, Karsten Erickson Roofing and Construction has been serving Central South Dakota with quality roofing and construction. He has now added gutters. We offer dependable service, guaranteed workmanship, and no unnecessary flash or fuss. Just reliable protection for your home. Karsten Erickson Roofing and Construction. Experience you can trust. Call today, 605-280-8133. Karsten Erickson Roofing and Construction, serving Central South Dakota for over 25 years. Look, it's no secret that owning a vehicle can cause a lot of stress, and they get a lot of wear and tear on them through the extreme seasons we've grown to love. Graham Tire wants you to know that you can trust them with any problem that you have with your vehicle. Their ASE certified mechanics can make your AC cool again, or even just change your oil. They can look into and fix those noises that seem to come from nowhere and have you stressed out. Bring your car to Graham Tire so they can put your mind at ease. Graham Tire, your tire store next door.
As a family grows, so does its financial needs. There are doctors and dentists, optometrists, lessons, braces, groceries, and more groceries. Then, of course, there's cars, college, and weddings to pay for. First Fidelity Bank is here to make the financial side of growing a family a little easier. First Fidelity Bank. First-class banking on a first-name basis. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender. Online at ffb-sd.com.
We welcome you back. It is a first-game win for the Metro Colonels over the Pierre Governors. As the Govs fall for the first time in South Dakota games, John Winkler alongside Steve Steele. As we go through the totals here, 2-0 is our final score. 4 hits, 1 error, and the 3 men left on base for the Metro Colonels. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base for Pierre. Governors had just 2 base runners, but it was 1 over the minimum for Tyler Christensen, who went 7 innings without allowing a hit. He had 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, 82 pitches. He got a double play. Simpson flew out to right, doubled off Sunshine, who had just walked to open up the 7th inning. And other than that, Trevor Rounds drew a walk in the 2nd, and he was stranded on at 2nd. And that was all she wrote for the Governors in Game 1 in their 2-0 loss. And Coach, the game of baseball is funny sometimes. Charlie Simpson almost probably has a triple if that's another 2 inches higher, and has a triple with 1 out in the 4th inning. But instead, he's out. They couldn't find any hits in this game after having 14 in game number 1 against Aberdeen. Just how the game of baseball goes sometimes.
Yeah, it's how sports go in general. I mean, it's you just never know what's going to happen any given day, and I think that's the important part in games like that is every little thing matters that much more when it's a game that's that tight, and when someone's in the zone, you got to give a lot of credit to Mitchell's pitcher. I mean, he didn't miss a whole lot, because you don't have room to miss a whole lot when you're only throwing 82 pitches in a 7-inning game.
Yeah, 82 pitches with just 2 walks. He had 5 strikeouts overall, so he was around the plate a lot throughout the ball game. Ridge Leinbach was just as good, 6 2/3 innings, giving up 2 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, and 12 strikeouts, 107 pitches. I mean, you leave with that stat line, and I don't know how you feel like you end up being the losing pitcher in that game. That is a tough one for Ridge Leinbach to lose, because you give up just 2 runs on 2 hits in nearly 7 innings of work, and basically 7 innings of work, and you end up on the losing side of things.
Yeah, I mean, that's a game where you could be getting player of the game
Yeah.
Depending on what the other side is. You know, I mean, it's similar. It's like a hockey goalie where one's got 40 saves, one's got 65,
Yeah.
you know, and it's a 1-0 game or something. I mean, it's just tough when you have a performance like that and you end up taking the loss with it. But really, really good performance by him. You know, he was, like you said, just as good as the Mitchell guy. I think they were a little bit less aggressive at the plate, forced him to throw a little bit more pitches, and that was about the difference.
And just 2 runs. It was a sac fly RBI in the top of the 4th. Carter McCormick walked, and Hartman had a sac fly RBI, and then it was an RBI single for Parker Mandel. The first pitch that he saw from Brendan McCullough, who came in the game and got the final out, gave up 2 hits, one scoring that run, but it goes to Linebacker with that runner was on at third. So it was just a 2-0 win for Mitchell in game number 1, and they'll be looking for the sweep of the doubleheader here on this Monday afternoon. Time of the ball game was 1 hour and 29 minutes. So a quick moving game through those 7 innings, and rightfully so when you have 4 hits and 7 walks combined or whatever, 5 walks combined between, or 3 walks only in that game and only 4 hits. So you should move that game pretty quick, and it was 1 hour and 29 minutes. So we will have the second game coming up here right a little bit before 3 o'clock will be that second game, I would expect. Somewhere around maybe 2:50, 2:55 we'll have that second game underway. But we will have, we'll hear from News Director Zach Nelson what will be more of the 3 o'clock news at 2:30 instead of at the normal 3 o'clock hour. We'll hear from that coming up in just a little bit. If you're watching on YouTube at KCCR Sports, we'll end the live video. We'll come back with game 2 here in just a little bit as we'll reset and get ready for our second game. 2-0 win for the Mitchell Colonels or the Pierre Governors in game 1. Game 2 is on the way, coming up in just a little bit. Back in 4 minutes with News Director Zach Nelson and his 3 o'clock news. 2-0 win for the Colonels over Pierre here on